We're almost ready to put these page sets into the album cover, but before we do, I want to show you what you can do when you have forgotten to put in a magnet closure or any kind of closure and your pages are already patterned. One way that you can create a closure to hold this down, because when it folds over, it is going to flap open. So I didn't take that into account. So what I've done is cut me another piece of string, tied a knot in it with a loop down here on the bottom. It's going to be similar to this one. I have my little heart circle, I have my scallop, and I have my small circle. So I'm going to make a string closure right here in the top corner. Now, to hide the end of the string where it's attached, I don't want it on the main page, I'm going to put it here inside of this sleeve pocket. And to cover it so that it doesn't snag on whatever goes in and out, I've cut a piece of the cardstock scrap. It's about 1.5 inches wide by the length, the 9-inch length of this page here, trimmed down just 1/16 of an inch off. So got that ready to go to assemble this closure piece on this page set 1. So first of all, I'm going to take my glue, and right in the center on the back side of this scallop, I'm just going to put a dot of glue. And then I'm going to add the little circle. Now we've made this before, and you do have to let it dry pretty good. And then just a dot here in the center, not a whole lot. And then I'm going to position it where I want the closure to be. So I want it in this upper corner. I don't want to cover my booties, so I'm just going to arrange it here. And then I have my little yellow heart circle. I thought looked really good with the booties, so I'm going to put glue on it. This is just for decoration. This circle is, and it goes right on the top like that in the center. So I'm going to let all that dry. And then while that's drying, I'm taking this piece here, and I'm going to have to lay this beside it to make sure it's going to come across to there. So I want to just put that right there. Let's see here. If it's glues in, it's got to come to the outer side. So let's put it over here and just make sure it's in about the right position. So right here, and I'm going to tape it a little bit. This is going to go in like this. So this is the back side, and this is going to glue to this side, the left side of the inside of this sleeve. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this tape off, backing off, and then I'm going to put glue on this entire piece. So this is a closure fix. You just have to look at what you've done and analyze it to see what you can do to make a closure work and not mess up all your pattern papers that you've already done. So I'm going to carefully open this up, slip this inside, and line up the edge with the back side on the inside of this pocket. And the reason you trim it down a little bit, because it would be a little tight fit if you don't. But you want to make sure and press it in really good with your fingers. It's okay if it's not totally straight in there, as long as it's not sticking out of the pocket. And then burnish that in there to make sure everything lays down flat. Okay, so now we have the string. Hopefully it's long enough, and it will wrap around this little piece here. Okay, so there it is with it attached to the inside with that piece over it to keep it from snagging. And there's our little closure piece that opens up like that. And then this flips open where you can put pictures inside. And then of course these two mats are going to go right in here. And you can put more than two. And just wrap it around and close it. So now we are ready. So grab the album cover. So here you have your spine. You remember you have your 2 folds of the book right there. So we don't want the page attached right up against this. We're going to allow a space. So I'm going to get my pencil and my ruler. And I have allowed about a 1/2 inch from the front fold here. So I'm going to lay this right here at the top, right up against this fold space. Keep it straight as possible. I'm going to put a tick mark at the 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to come down here from the fold line, place my ruler, and put another 1/2 inch mark. And then I'm going to line this up. Make sure it's straight. And draw a pencil line, right pencil line, right there. So that's the placement for our first page, which is going to go right on that line. And we want it to be centered about a 1/4 inch from the top and the bottom. So I'm going to erase that one mark right there where it will show. So, folding, I have my page. This is the front of page set 1. We want this hinge folded towards the back so you don't see the hinge. Flip it over. This is the back side. We're going to put glue right here on this 1/2 inch piece. And then with it folded under, we're going to place it along this line that we just marked. That will keep it a 1/2 inch from the fold, and we want it approximately a 1/4 of an inch from the bottom and from the top. So make sure you burnish that. Get that in real straight and burnish that. And then go ahead and erase any pencil lines that you might still see. Now we're ready to attach page set 2. So again, make sure the hinge here on the left is folded back. So this is the front side because we've got this matching here. And here's your hinge on the back. Now you don't need to draw a pencil line because the edge of the hinge, the 1/2 inch space for this first page, let me see if I can lift it up where you can see. It's kind of hard in the white. Here's the edge of the hinge that's attached down. So that's going to be our placement line. And we just need to make sure that we line them up correctly. So let's grab our glue. And with the back side here, the hinge is here on the right. Just fold it back and apply your glue. Oops. So this, with it folded, goes right along the edge of the hinge of page 2. That leaves that 1/2 inch space. So we're going to make sure that it stays straight and aligned down here at the bottom and the top. I'm going to carefully lift it up and then burnish right here. So I'm just making sure that it stayed straight. Didn't come over too far. There we go. And right there, and burnish. And you do want to burnish it really, really well. So really rub that. Don't poke a hole with your point of your bone folder, but just really burnish really good, pressing down. Give it a minute to dry. So that is page 2, page set 2, page set 1, page set 2. Now we're ready for page set 3. And again, I have the hinge folded back. So this is going to go right here. Now it does give a little more than a 1/2 inch on this back side, and that's okay, because I'd rather have more than not enough. So again, we're going to line this up with the hinge that's already down. So let's put the glue on. Just make sure you keep your ribbon out of the way. So I've got the glue here. And then turn this and align it up with the cut edge of the hinge that is attached down. So I'm just double checking my placements, make sure everything's lined up, and wipe off any excess glue you might see. This one slid a little bit. Just checking the placement. Burnish it. I like to burnish it with my finger to kind of get it started, and then finish with the bone folder. So now, once our pages are in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find scraps of paper and cover these sections where the hinges are. Like right here, it's going to be about 3/4, and then this one will be 1/2 and 1/2 and 1/2 on this side. You can cover that up if you want to, or just leave it white. In the next tutorial video, we will pattern and decorate the cover of our album.